Hello and welcome. Thanks for pressing play and listening to another episode of Digital Heroes. Today I'm talking with Will Hudson, Vice President Marketing IT at Dell Technologies. Welcome, Will. Thanks for joining me today.
Hey, thanks for having me, Steve. It's great to talk to you.
So when I think about Dell Technologies, I think about Dell as an icon in tech. Right? I think about a company that has a rich history of innovation. I think about a company just a few years ago was the home to the largest technology merger in history when Dell and Dell EMC joined forces. How would you begin to describe the employee experience at Dell Technologies?
Well, that's a great question. We're really proud of all of those brands, and we're really proud of the Dell Technologies family that we put together. It does make for quite an immersive and intense employee experience. As you might imagine, we have a lot of resources across the entire broad spectrum of the family of companies. And so making sense of all those different resources available to employees, it can be confusing at times and a lot of times hard, which is actually one of the reasons why we adopted Coveo as our internal search, is to help give us some clarity to that.
So if we kind of step back and start to unpack the employee experience, and there's a formula, right, that drives a great employee experience. What role does technology play in that formula for Dell? How are you thinking about technology?
Yeah, it may sound a little cliche to say it this way, but we kind of drink our own champagne at Dell. We sell employee transformation, of course, to our customers and help our employees transform, or our customers transform their employee experiences as well as their own technology experiences. But we leverage technology to its fullest extent. Technology is at the heart and core of everything we do, and maybe sometimes a little bit too much. We do see a lot of times when we have proliferating technology that sometimes competes, and so a lot of times we have to surface some knowledge content, some training resources. We have to leverage all of these things in order to make sense of this complex web of technology. And integrated search is actually one of the key ways that we do that. We've been on a really fantastic journey using Coveo and intelligent search to really help our employees find the things that are really the most relevant and critical to them at every point along their journey.
Some organizations frame their technology as a digital workplace platform, but when you think about digital employee experience and digital workplace, it's a composition of multiple different platforms. And so for Dell Technologies, what are the pillars? What are the core technologies that are kind of the foundation of the experience that you guys are creating today?
I imagine we're not very much different from anybody who's viewing this video. Obviously, we have technologies that support everything from staffing and hiring and interviewing all the way through managing my benefits and doing my day job and work on the job work resources. And so each one of those sort of functional pillars brings its own technology, from HR support systems to benefits management systems to on-the-job support systems and CRMs and all of that kind of thing. And so we stitch all that together really. We bring it together the first time for the employees really around that intranet experience. That's that homepage landing page for everybody to start their work days. And we try to bring as many of the resources to bear as we can there. But that homepage is the one landing page for all Dell employees where we communicate what's going on at the company, what's happening. We bring together all the resources from all the different departments in one place so that when employees log on that first time, there it is right in front of them. And front and center on the top is the search that we use to really tie together the, this thing I'm looking for, it's not on my direct L1 nav on my home screen. Where do I find it? I go type it in the search and boom, there it is. A curated, intelligent list of search results. And I will tell you from personal experience, I'd say probably about 95% of the time when I want something and I search for it, first result.
It's interesting when I look at some of the analyst perspectives around the internet platforms and enterprise search, often the advice is to separate those two projects, right? It's to compartmentalize them. It's to attack them from two different initiatives. And it sounds like you've thought about them holistically, right? You've thought about the kind of pillars of your digital employee experience, the core applications that you're using, and you've thought about search integrated with those. Why did you do that? How did you do that? What did that process look like?
It's a good question because we actually kind of went down that blind alley of that advice at first and said, like, we want everything to be kind of siloed and be in its own little thing. And so when an employee has an HR problem, they know I go to my HR portal and I search for it on my HR. And when I have an IT problem, I go to the my IT portal and I search for it there. The problem we got with that was actually users hated it. they keep giving us feedback that said, like, why are things so siloed? Like, why is it when I happen to be browsing my 401k and I suddenly have an issue with my PC and I want to get it fixed, I need to submit an IT trouble ticket, and I go search for it, like, I can't get IT results by searching on the HR page. And what we found was there were really there was also a disconnect in the quality of search results. When we didn't index everything, it just sort of the relevance fell off. And so we decided that the answer was like, okay, well, let's abandon that approach and let's put it all together and see what happens. And what we found was a massive increase in employee satisfaction, search result satisfaction, and actually a big increase in the quality of search results.
It's a great point. I think about internet platforms of the past, and oftentimes we've gone through these cycles where you launch an internet and sort of 2-3 years later, it's stale, content is stale and unused, and you're looking at relaunching, going through that process. And so when you think about digital employee experience, it's very much an evolution, and you're constantly evolving. Your business is constantly evolving. You need to constantly evolve the tech stack to support your business, your employees, what they need. As we look forward, even in the next couple of months, there's a whole new environment that we're going to be operating in, and a new normal for many organizations and many people. How are you thinking about kind of the future of the digital employee experience, and what that evolution is going to look like maybe in a couple months from now and in 6 months from now?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, because we're kind of in active conversations about that. Like this whole COVID response has highlighted the importance of having a single touch point where all of our employees come together at the start of their day. It has been a critical, vital resource for us in communicating our plans and communicating what we need employees to do and be aware of and not do. So it has been really a crucial linchpin. And as we think about the evolution of it, we want to extend the capabilities as a communication tool, but we also want to sort of highlight the resources and get more intelligent about how we position resources for employees to be able to leverage. One of the strengths of our platform is that we have built it as a community. So it is actually built on a community platform technology. And so we have the ability to easily stand up new communities for our employees to engage with each other. And that creates a really vibrant culture. It also proliferates a very large amount of content that we then have to sift through. Coveo helps us a lot from a search perspective, but the things that we're really thinking about, the next steps are, how do we leverage that community technology to really bring together the relevant groups of employees to be able to have the right conversations to take our business to the next level, while at the same time maybe curating out a little bit of the content and shutting down some of the old stuff that we don't need, and getting a little bit more active sort of in the governance of standing up and shutting down. And how do we do that in the face of other new technologies that are really taking hold in this crisis, like Microsoft Teams and Slack? Those are fantastic, powerful tools that allow teams to collaborate together. How do we bring them more into the conversation as well?
In the current environment, I think is forcing all organizations to take kind of hard look in the mirror, ask themselves, how can we emerge stronger from this period of change? And so there's no doubt that Dell is well positioned to do so. And Will, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for sharing some of your insights today around how you're working.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. Thank you for inviting me and taking the time to listen.